Hello everybody, CluelessCake76 here. Welcome back to another video. For today we're going to be looking at 10 ways to improve your artwork in your homemade TCG. So let's take a look into 10 tips. The first tip is draw backgrounds. Backgrounds are really important for the artwork. Now you don't really need them, like for example if you look at Chaos Galaxy, it's just a plain color, except for a very few cards which have more or less like the whole card is a setting more so. But just having a background, it does actually help a lot, especially if you aren't just using one plain color. If you're not going to use a background, just use color at least. But just adding a background really just adds so much to the card. You see that with a lot of my cards that without a background they'd be very bland and very plain and not so nice to look at. The next tip I have is have a unique style, or just try out some. See, by having a unique style, it really just adds so much character to your own TCG, and it honestly just makes it so much better. The next tip I have is use different colors. See, if you're just sticking to like one color theme, not color theme more so, but like one or two colors, it kind of looks a little bland, so I would suggest using like 3 or more at least. This just really adds a lot of character to it. Obviously some things that are usually more abstract, you just use very few colors, but those things, that's different. But more so use, when you're drawing, use a lot more colors than just like 1 or 2. The next tip I have is plan out your drawings. Now this includes just sketching them out on the piece of paper before you color it in and all that. I would suggest just planning it out a little bit. Sometimes I do this if I really don't know what to draw. I'll just doodle around, and then when I see something that looks kind of cool, plan that out and turn that more into a creature. I think I've done that a couple of times for more so some of the cards I've done in my TCG. For example, like Darkspear Dragon, I believe that one I planned out a little bit on a separate piece of paper and then put it onto a card. So the next tip I have is practice. Practice is everything. Just the more you practice, the better you'll get, and it's kind of obvious, but just practice. Have a center focus. Having a center focus in the card really just grabs your attention. So more so keep your characters in the middle, unless there's something else like 2 characters or something like that. But have your cards mostly in the middle, just because it just it appeals to the eye, and you'll look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's the thing I'm supposed to be looking at, not just looking at some sort of corner instead, which is not too good to have. Another point I have is get inspired. I would suggest just watching YouTube videos on the homemade TCG, from the homemade TCG community. For example, I like to watch Chaos Galaxy, once in a while Dimension Battles, Doodles Ninja, and a couple other YouTubers. Those are like the main 3 I go to once in a while. But by looking through the TCG community, you'll really find like a lot of inspiration, and it's honestly just a good thing to have. The next tip I have is make sure you got a good layout. A good card layout will really like help you with improving your card art, because if you have a good layout and it looks nice, it will just automatically go nice with the art most likely. See, my layout is quite simple. I'm less focusing on the actual layout and more so on the card, but it's nice and neat, and it's kind of simplistic and in a way minimalist, so that's why I have it there. The next tip I have is try different poses. Now, this is something I am guilty of not doing. I have not tried too many poses, but I'm going to start doing that more so, just so I get unique poses that really add a bunch to the game, not so all your characters just look all kind of bland in one pose. And the final tip I have, I find this really important, I use this all the time, is just using a fine liner. AKA, for me, it's just a big pen that has a fine tip point, which you can get at like a lot of stores. I think I got mine at Dollar Store initially. But you can also use like Sharpies. I wouldn't suggest those because they are pretty smelly. But using a fine liner really just adds a lot to your card. It like makes it more bold, and yeah. Alright, now that we got all 10 tips out of the way, I really recommend using these, by the way. Let's get into the card that we are drawing in the background, which is Lifestone. It's a ability card that says free play one creature from your graveyard. So this is really useful. It's basically if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster Reborn. But thank you guys so much. Make sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.